Thank you for choosing me as your real estate agent to help you find your new home. What I'd like to do now is go over the New Jersey Buyer Agency Agreement. There have been changes made to it, so prior to you signing it, I'd like to go over it with you so you know exactly what you're signing. So I am going to share my screen with you and pull up the Buyer Agency Agreement, which is right here. Okay, so this New Jersey Realtor Standard Form of Exclusive Buyer Agency Agreement. There are 22 paragraphs to this document. I'll go over each paragraph with you. So paragraph 1, where it says agency here, you will see your name or names as the buyers. And then my brokerage firm will be here on this line. This next line is blank because we can cover all municipalities and counties in the state of New Jersey where I am licensed. However, we will fine tune our search. You'll let me know where exactly the towns, the neighborhoods, the counties that you prefer to search in, and I will concentrate on those areas. Okay, so in paragraph 2, does buyer have a business relationship with another broker? So I have it check mark as no. Here you are representing that you have no other buyer agency agreement in place. But if you do, just please let me know before signing this contract. So if you visited any open houses or if you toured homes with recently with another agent, just let me know before you sign this. Okay, so basically it says, by employing me as your agent, I will conduct all negotiations for properties on your behalf. Okay, paragraph 3, declaration of business relationships. So this is stating that I, as a licensee with Keller Williams, Burlington County, am working with you as a buyer agent and a disclosed dual agent if opportunity arises. So what that means is if myself or another Keller Williams, Burlington County agent has the listing of a home that you'd like to see, therefore Keller Williams Burlington County is representing both buyer and seller. So that would be disclosed dual agency. On the next page, the term, paragraph 4, this agreement shall commence on, and you'll see a date here, and then it'll expire the day of our closing. This can also expire with 3-day written termination from either party. So it's either going to be the day that we close on your property or with 3 days written notification of termination of this buyer agency agreement. Paragraph 5, compensation to buyer's agent. So basically, this is stating how I will be compensated. In this paragraph, there is no retainer fee. That is checkbox no. And then part 2 of paragraph 5, broker compensation. In consideration of the services rendered by myself on behalf of you, the buyer, buyer agrees to pay the agent 2.5% of the purchase price. Now, the seller can offer to pay that compensation. The seller can agree to a 2.5% commission to the buyer agent, who is myself, to me. So then therefore you would not be responsible for the 2.5%. So if the seller is offering compensation to my firm, then the amount offered by the seller shall be credited towards the 2.5%, and it certainly could cover the entire 2.5%. So here it's saying if a seller is offering to pay the buyer agent an amount less than the buyer has agreed, that buyer's agent will be paid as set forth above. And then buyer directs buyer agent to do the following. So here's a couple check boxes here. So I can introduce you to all properties that I believe would be acceptable to you, regardless of the compensation offered by the seller. We can check that box. Or you can instruct me to perhaps not show you or introduce you to any properties that the seller is not paying a 2.5% commission for the buyer agent, which is myself. So this you can let me know how you prefer. In the meantime, I can absolutely send you every property and then let you know prior to scheduling a showing of any property what the seller is offering as far as buyer agency compensation, and to let you know if there's going to be a deficit where you would be then responsible for paying whatever the shortage is. We can also include, we could look at every property, and then when we submit offers on homes that perhaps are offering less than 2.5%, we can submit our offers to then request that the seller pay a total of 2.5% to the buyer broker, which is my firm. So there are negotiations that can happen. And there's ways to perhaps offset the 2.5% fee for compensation to myself as your buyer agent. So as far as the next paragraph, paragraph 6, so my duties to you. In promoting your best interest, I intend to, and then here's a list of what I'm going to do for you as your buyer representative. I will use due diligence in my search to locate properties for you, both on and off market. I will comply with all laws and regulations. I will use my professional knowledge and skills to assist you in negotiating for properties. I will help you understand the mortgage process and financial issues such as budget constraints. I will keep you informed on current market conditions and how they may impact your buying power. I will schedule showings for you and tour homes with you. I will disclose all material facts related to the condition of the home and point out any and all potential concerns about the home while touring. I will also discuss possible remedies for issues and concerns that may arise. I will negotiate the most desirable terms on your behalf with the seller or the seller's agent. And I can recommend professionals to you as well, such as attorneys, inspectors, engineers, title companies, mortgage lenders, and contractors. I can obtain quotes for you, such as scheduling home inspections and assisting with resolving any issues that may arise throughout the transaction. I will schedule our closing, assist with the transfer of utilities, and address any discrepancies in the condition of the property that may arise at the final walkthrough. In addition to all of these items here, I will also monitor all of our contract deadlines to be sure nothing is missed and we are on track for our closing. And then a little further down here, paragraph 7, it just gives an outline of your duties as the buyer, as far as getting pre-approved for a loan prior to us looking at properties, which I can certainly put you in contact with a mortgage rep for you to get pre-approved for a loan in order for us to submit offers with pre-approval letters. Okay, then paragraph 8, other buyers. So if I have another buyer interested in the same home that you are interested in, I will not disclose the terms of any offer that we have submitted or any confidential information, and vice versa. And then paragraph 9, dual agency, which we spoke about above. This is explaining that disclosed dual agency is permitted, and that's basically me representing you as a buyer and either myself or an agent with Keller Williams Burlington County offices representing the seller. So that is disclosed dual agency. Keller Williams Burlington County would be representing both buyer and seller in a transaction. Incidentally, you will be signing a consumer information statement with your buyer documents that outlines the different business relationships in New Jersey, as well as discussing dual agency again. So you'll see that document come up within the packet of documents that you'll be signing. Okay, buyer's letter to seller. I have been asked a lot about presenting, they're called love letters, to the seller to hopefully entice the seller to select our offer. So the National Association of Realtors stance on this, well, they don't recommend it. They do not recommend writing personal letters to the sellers, as they could knowingly or through unconscious bias discriminate. If you wanted to send a letter to the seller, if you still wanted to, I can give you some guidelines for writing it, and then you can send the letter directly to the seller without it passing through me or the seller's agent. You'd have to send it directly to the seller. Paragraph 13, professional referrals. I can provide you with the names of attorneys, inspectors, engineers, title companies, mortgage reps, contractors, etc. But this states you will assume full responsibility for who you select. This is essentially another hold harmless paragraph in this buyer agency agreement. Next paragraph, paragraph 14, applicable laws. This agreement is in accordance with the laws of the state of New Jersey. Paragraph 15, if any dispute arises from or related to this agreement, it shall be submitted to arbitration. That's what that paragraph is explaining. And then paragraph 16, class action and representative action waiver. Dispute to be brought on an individual basis only, no class action lawsuits. That's what this entire, few paragraphs are stating. 17, consumer information statement. As I mentioned before, you will be getting the full consumer information statement with your buyer packet for signing, and that explains the different business relationships in New Jersey. It also goes into detail about disclosed dual agency that we talked about. Paragraph 18 just explains that about termination and breach of contract. So the buyer acknowledges and understands that this agreement constitutes a binding exclusive contract between you and I. Paragraph 19, this is important, surveillance by seller. While touring homes, please be mindful of surveillance by seller, such as video and audio equipment. I'm finding them more and more commonplace when touring homes. And then on the flip side, paragraph 20, recording of property by buyer. So also keep in mind the seller's right to privacy. We cannot take any photos or make any videos without written consent of the seller. Paragraph 21, with regard to the buyer agent commission, that is due at closing. So whether it's paid by you in full or partially by you or by the seller, it is due at closing. And finally, paragraph 22, this is the entire agreement. So this is the entire agreement between you and I, buyer agent and buyer, and that both parties will comply with the terms of this contract. And then here are signature lines here. So if you have any questions about this buyer agency agreement, please ask me and I can go over it. I can answer any questions that you may have before you sign it. So thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you.